Hi, it's Sandra here from Creating Spain, and today I'm doing another stamp making video. This time I'm doing a larger stamp like this one here. Now this is the largest of my square frames that I make. I've put the gel in. Now the sandwich is the glass, the image, and then a piece of cellophane which I've taped down. The reason I taped this one down is because this frame is more or less of a similar size to the cellophane, and I figured it could possibly wrinkle underneath. So I taped down the cellophane to try and eliminate as much wrinkling as humanly possible. Now I've put the gel in, and at the moment I've just allowed it to settle. It's almost filling the square. There's a tiny bit there, and on this corner that hasn't filled in yet. But I think it will once the top layer is applied and pressure is put on it. So, on top of that goes my piece of plastic, and I put it down so it touches the center and then lay it down to the sides. Put my glass plate on top of that, and yes, it does actually fill it. So there we go. So this is going to go into my lamp with my LEDs facing outwards, not in towards the center. It's going to go in here. I'm just going to put my hand on there to flatten it in case I skewed it when I was holding it in place. And now I'm going to put that on for 30 seconds. And since it's only 30 seconds, I will just sit here and wait for it, and I won't bother to switch the video off. The design for this stamp will be linked below, and hopefully you'll be able to have a go at making it yourself. So hopefully this will come out right. There we go. That's had its 30 seconds. So I'm going to take it out, turn it over, and put it back in, and this I'm going to put in for 2 minutes. And this timer, for some reason, although it's the same as the other one I've got, is a lot louder. So I tried this earlier this morning and I had a complete and utter disaster because it appeared that my lamp had been off when I thought it was on when I thought it was off, and I had no idea what time it had been given, so I ended up wasting a whole load of gel. Annoying, but it does sometimes happen. You just have to accept these things. Okay, so hopefully this is now done. I'm just going to put my finger on that. That feels actually quite firm, so that's good, and that feels softer, so I think I'm going to be in luck. I can see the image in there, and so I'm going to pull away the cellophane part, and here we go. It's looking pretty good. Pull it away slowly. You don't want to tear off bits that might be a little fragile at the moment. So there we are. I'm going to go take this and wash it off. I fold it over, as you can see, a certain amount of spare liquid on there, which is as it should be. So I'm hoping for good things, and I'll be back in a moment. I've given this a good scrubbing out, and you can see the result. It looks like it's come out perfectly. And here is the, oops, it's got stuck to the base. It's got some gel on there somewhere. That's the original image. And this is the stamp, and I will show it stamped out a bit later on. Now what you need to do when you've got this done is you take off the frame. Just dry the frame off. If you've got these from me, then all you need to do is just dry them off. You don't need to wash them. And then that needs to go into a shallow tray with some water. And you can give it another 3 minutes or so. You can give it longer than that if you wish. But I generally find about 3 minutes will harden it up pretty well. You can always put it back under the lamp for future hardening if you need to. So, you know, it's not as if it's a problem. If it really isn't hard enough, you can put it back under. I've stamped it off for the very first time, and this is the result I've got. So I'm pretty happy. Possibly I could have done with about 10 seconds less on the second side, but it's very, very, very close. The only bit that is showing a very slight lack of detail are these points here, where I've got a tiny, tiny, tiny little hole in there. You can see it on some, but not on all of it. So maybe 10 seconds less would give me that further definition. For this design, I wanted to stamp my stamp on a cutout that is shaped the same shape. So you can see where I've cut it out here. And then I wanted to Versamark over the top of it. So to do that, what I've done is I put my stamp onto my stamp platform, and I stamped it onto plain scrap paper which was pushed into the corner here. So once I'd done that and had the image, all I did was I got my original cutout and I lined it up over my image like so, and then I took the cutout piece that I needed to stamp and placed it on top of there with a tiny bit of glue on the back of it. Then removed this. So I then stamped it with the blue, and now I'm going to Versamark it. So put the Versamark on here. Whoops. Helps so I don't drop it everywhere. And then I can close it over and make sure that it's covered with the Versamark. Now this will move as I lift it up because that is pretty sticky. But if I really needed to do it again, all I'd have to do was to slide it into the corner and it would be in the right position. So just because I know what happens if I don't do it twice. I know I'll end up missing a bit somewhere, and nearly always do. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to stamp it with a Versamark again. I've now got my front piece heat embossed, and I've just gone for a sparkly embossing thing on there. And I've written happy birthday on a piece of black card and just cut it out with a couple of indents on the edges. I've put my sticky tape on the back, and so I'm just going to put that across the centre of here, like so. Whoops. It would help if I had it stuck down properly, wouldn't it? And it would also help if I didn't have the sticky tape stuck out at one end. A fact which had escaped me. Okay, so I'm just going to place it like that. I've gone for double-sided tape because I know the tape will adhere to the card under there that isn't heat embossed. It's probably just a little more reliable than going for a glue. But this bit I actually want to put on some foam pads. So I've got this cut out, and I have my decorative panel cut out as well. Now this is cut from a turquoisey blue glitter card. It's very delicate, very pretty. And I'm going to put it on here. Now it's sized to fit, but what I don't want to do is put it onto a plain white background. I want to add a little more colour to it. This is going to go in the centre. So what I need to do is to firstly remove this, there we are, and work out roughly, just get in my mind's eye roughly where this is going to be. And I'm just going to do a little bit of colouring with a blending tool. I'm going to go for Sweet Plum and just take my blending tool, tap it on there. I've got the remnants of some glycerin on here, so it should blend reasonably well. Yeah, I think that'll do fine. And I'm going to go round somewhere in the vicinity of where I think the edges are going to be for this piece here. There we go, that is roughly where I want it to be. I'm going to add a little more colour, I think. There we are, just gently blended. That'll do fine. And then I want to add a different colour around the edges there. So I might go for this one, which is grape jelly. Let's just have a look, see what the colour's like. Yeah, okay. Grape jelly it is. So this one is going to be a bit stronger colour, which is what I wanted. To provide some contrast. I think that will probably do. And what I shall do before I forget, put this out of the way, and just wipe off any ink off my glass work saver here. There we are. So you need to let that dry a little while before you put on this bit, or else your glue will have difficulty adhering. Okay, so I have used my usual acrylic varnish to stick this on here because it's got a nice fine nib. I did have a special gizmo given to me at Christmas for doing this kind of sticking. Xyron sticker maker. I wouldn't recommend it to my worst enemy. I found it absolutely useless. It made a right mess of things like this. Might be okay if you've got a very simple flower shape or something like that. But for this sort of thing, which is what I actually wanted it for, a complete and utter waste of time. So it's stuck in the corner of my craft room doing absolutely nothing. So I've got my base card done, and I have my little centerpiece which has got its sentiment stuck on, and I just need to put that on there. Now it depends obviously whether I want to put the card up vertically, portrait style, or whether I want to do it that way. I haven't quite decided yet. So what I'm going to do is put this onto my base card first of all. So I've got my little matting jig here, so I'll put this in here, like so. Put over my frame, and then I need some glue, or some double-sided tape. Actually, I'll use some double-sided tape. If you've put your sentiment on already, please make sure you put it on the front, the right way around. And I just slide that into there. Push that down, lift my frame off, and I've got my card matted. Right, so that's all sorted, and the only thing I need to do now is decide whether I want it to go up that way or across that way. I think I'll go for the across. I think I'll go for the landscape mode. If I get backing tape off of this. There we go. So, and there's the finished card. I think that's quite pretty. Thanks for watching. Take care now. Bye bye.